Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Oh, it's Thursday. What am I doing in your feed on a Thursday? Well, it must be to promote a brand new free bonus episode available exclusively on Patreon. Yeah, I'm here to tease you a little bit. I'm going to tweak the nips. I'm going to take a feather boa to your balls and just tease you as I say, go follow my Patreon page for free. Every month, I put out a free bonus episode available exclusively on Patreon. We have free episodes with Nina Hartley, Andrea Allen, my 7th grade crush. This month is with my former publicist, Melissa Vitale. Melissa specializes in vice publicity, so like cannabis, sexuality, stuff like that. Well, she recently finished spending several months working with me, and there were some unique difficulties of pitching the ever-problematic Billy Procida, especially to the type of publications I would like to be featured in, because I think that's where my audience is. You know, sadly, I'm not a douchebag bro that my face suggests I am, which means it's harder to pitch me to like Barstool, you know, or Bro Bible or something like that. With these free episodes, I'm always trying to give a little bit of other insight into me and my life, you know, from other angles that you may not know about. So if you want to hear this in its entirety, it is available for free on Patreon. You're going to get a nice tease right now, like 4 or 5 minutes, but then you're going to have to go over there to hear the whole thing. You go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Go to the posts tab. You'll see it right up there, or in the about section, you'll see a link to it at the top. And if you don't want to miss these free bonus episodes, but you also don't want to pledge to my Patreon, just go over there and click the follow button. It's going to ask you to make an account, no credit card needed. And that way you'll just get a nice email whenever I put up a new free episode. Again, go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Go follow Melissa Vitale on Twitter and Instagram at Melissa A. Vitale PR. And now enjoy my little tease with Melissa.
I think that in the realm of sex positivity, and this applies to legal cannabis as well, is that there's so much that needs to be done with reaching new audiences in order to affect like overall change, that everyone is doing their own bit in different ways. And yes, okay, Billy, maybe really sex positive, you know, feminists from Brooklyn don't like you, but you reach an audience that might not normally look into sex positivity unless they're hearing it from someone like you. Someone who makes it funny, someone who makes it understandable, someone who, you know, is lighthearted about it and isn't always, you know, you're serious when you need to be serious, but you're not like, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that. You know, you don't have this like super rigid rules. You know, I wanted to have you have sign consent forms to have people make out with you at Man Whore Con.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were foreseeing a lot of potential bad PR things leading up to Man Whore Con. And so I guess I want to ask, and I'll say first, I'll remind, so like you do not currently work for me, and so I am hopefully trusting that you can be honest if the truth is not necessarily as flattering or whatever, but that there's no like money thing going on where like you would not, you know, be truthful. But what did you know about me before I reached out to hire you? Outside of, I think you were the in-between when I booked Daniel Saint on the show years ago.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like, what did you know about me?
What did I know about you? What did I know about you? I know that that both Daniel and Remy had done your show. And I'd known that. Did I know anyone who dated you beforehand? I don't think so. Okay. I really didn't. I think and then I met you once at Sexpo last year.
At what?
At Sexpo last year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I had known, and then we've been following each other on the social media for quite some time. So I knew like everything adjacent to you, but I had been, since I'm also NSFW's publicist and Daniel Saint's publicist, that when whatever happened with you and NSFW happened, I was adjacent to it. Like I might have been like in the room next to them while they were talking about it, but I had no like interest. I never have interest in getting into like the nitty gritties of like anything to deal with like people who attend NSFW parties.
Sure.
Because that's like a whole nother beast to bear, like beast of burden that once you get involved with it, it's never ending. So I'm very much just, I bring press. That's all I do. But I had heard the whispers of it, but from what I understood, I have also heard whispers of other things we've dealt with at NSFW, and anything to do with you paled in comparison to some of the other shit we've seen.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of things were like, did you hear Billy Procida posted this? And then that would be, followed by, did you or so-and-so maybe raped so-and-so? And then you were like, yeah, one of these is not like the other.
I mean, so we've had some like wild instances, and even some instances of, that have fueled some of my feelings towards you. Like, oh, if you hear something from an ex, like, yeah, don't like take it with a grain of salt, because exes are like, breakups are messy. And
but when you hear from like 17 exes, then it might be, it's the difference between hearing from one angry ex versus many.
Yeah. I think there is more of a conversation now that if you have a crazy ex, it's like, maybe we need to like point one finger, 3 point back at you. Maybe we like, need to look at what you did that made it crazy. But I think, a mature way to look at things, especially with such like a hypersexual culture, we need to like realize that people are going to fuck all the time. People are going to have sex. People are going to get in relationships, and there's a mature way to handle breakups. And
which I don't do.
I mean,
I make a lot of really sad attempts at funny posts.
I have 2 exes in the past 8 years, and one of us took 6 years to have a civilized conversation. One of us, the last time he contacted me, he asked me to have sex with him and his girlfriend. His new
Nothing
girlfriend.
in between?
Like
breakup, silence, want to have a threesome?
Yeah. Like
the gall.
It was even worse, because I had blocked him on everything, and I downloaded Telegram because I was doing cryptocurrency PR at the time.
Okay.
And a lot of international journalists use Telegram, in the crypto scene at least. And so, and then he found me on Telegram, and he immediately and it has read receipt on it. And he's like, I see you read it. Like, and he kept going, and I kept like trying to ignore him to give him the chance to shut the fuck up and like get the hint. And
but he's like constantly messaging you.
He's constantly messaging. Yeah. And it was over the course of maybe 3 days before I blocked him and told him off and told him to go fuck himself. And then had a Bustle article curated around it. Like, the title was, do's and don'ts of threesomes.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to hear the whole thing, again, go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. It is free. And we like free.